Welcome back to Daily Flash. You jump into the hood, the parenthood, and if you are a parent, you know it can be really challenging pretty much all the time. But parenting during the holidays can really bring its particular kind of stress onto you. So here to comment on this and so much more is our friend, parenting expert Katherine Sellery. And she's joining us right now from Bali. What are you doing in Bali? You having a good time down there or what?
It's the holidays, and it's time to just celebrate and enjoy this beautiful weather. Yes.
I love that. I'm starting to think the best way to parent is just go on vacation and get away from your
leave-
kids.
leave-
I'm
leave
kidding
them.
you. I'm joking. I'm joking, okay? You're excellent.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
I'm messing with you. We love having you on. You know, this time during the holidays, our regular schedules are well off. Lots of excitement going on, especially for the little ones. You got 4 different ways that we could stick to our parenting style during the holidays, and it's hard to do. Let's start off with the first one, believe it or not. And it is not your job to change anyone's mind at all. What do you mean by this?
So a lot of different parenting styles. And when we go home for the holidays with our kids or family members come on, a lot of them have opinions about how we parent. And so some of the older style parenting is back to that kids should be seen and not heard. They should be obedient and compliant. So when they see a conscious parent who is actually leaning in a little bit more and trying to understand from the child's perspective what's going on for them, others can conceive of that being permissive.
Okay.
And so when you have others who are not looking at your parenting style and understanding that you're actually looking at the child as a person too, it's in your best interest to just accept that fact ahead of time so that you don't get super triggered by it.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah. And just know that this is going to happen. There are going to be lots of other people on the planet who have a lot of evaluations and opinions, and sometimes they want to share those with you.
Yeah, you just let them know, hey, I got this. I got this. Let them know.
I got this.
Your next tip is communicate, then tolerate. It sounds pretty simple, but what specifically?
It is. It's not always that simple because, again, family members can have a lot of judgments. And it doesn't mean that when they're judgmental of your parenting style that you need to feel ashamed of yourself.
Oh, okay.
So this is the great time to talk to your kids about different parenting styles and why you parent them the way you do. And I don't know, I'm guessing everybody's had that experience of their kids going to someone else's house or going home to the holidays and having grandparents and other relatives who are critical.
Oh.
And this is an opportunity to just be tolerant of these other people's parenting styles so that you're not critical of them in the same way they're critical of you.
Let me ask you, well, usually if you go to, your grandparents, you're now the child, and it seems like when you were talking, I was thinking, well, the reason I'm doing this is because you guys used to never let me eat cereal in the morning or whatever. And it was almost like rebellion. Obviously, you want to stay away from that sort of thing, but is that pretty common?
Yeah. So it's very common. And I know with my own children, when I would take them back to my parents' house, and I played the role of the mediator between my father, I can remember, who was in his mid 80s, and one of my children that was about 6 years old. And there was that role I got to play of a mediator where I could just look at one and kind of empathize with how misunderstood they felt, and the other also feeling misunderstood, and just kind of be with them in this experience of being misunderstood and just support them through it. And it was actually really beautiful. My dad actually said, honey, it's a better way.
Well, very nice. It was like that. So
Yeah.
you walked away from a great experience, it sounds like, as well.
So beautiful.
Your next step is,
Yeah.
your next step you say is make a plan. By how? And what do we need to involve in that plan?
And that's the whole thing of just talking to your children in advance that other family members may be judgmental and critical, and how are we going to deal with it? So that if you talk about it in advance, maybe the idea is to just at the end of the day, let's talk about any incidents or experiences that you had so that they have a way to process it and let go.
All right. And then finally, ditch the audience, which is hard for me to do because I could talk when I got an audience in front of me. What do you mean by that?
That's so sweet. But yeah, you never want to be having situations with your kids where they might be upset and they're having certain behaviors that other people are judgmental of.
Yeah.
And so just get out of the audience altogether. Be sure your child has an opportunity to go someplace private where they can process what's going on within them without having all these people looking at you.
Right.
Right. So just know how to do that so that you don't feel ashamed or embarrassed, but you give your child and you a little bit of space to work through something that could be difficult without all these people looking at you.
Yeah, and you said ashamed and embarrassed as a parent, but the kid, imagine that is just amplified. They're feeling the exact same thing. They're ashamed and embarrassed, and you don't want to do that in front of everybody else. Very, very good advice here.
Just give everybody a chance to recover, save face, not make it a big deal if it doesn't need to be.
And you just tell them next time they're not going to Bali with you if they keep aggravating. I'm just kidding with you. And we love having you on all the time, Katherine. Great advice. And if you want more information, you want to definitely check out her parenting book. It's freeparentingbook.com. And of course, we'll have this link and other information on our website, dailyflashshow.com. We got more coming up right around the corner. Stay with us.